single penny to go see this movie. In fact, it needs to be boycotted. You will never see white movies like this. They have, in the trailer alone, they are trying to implement mind control and propaganda to the black woman against black men. Look at the caption, "Make your daddy dead, real dead." They have Vivica A. Fox playing the mother of two daughters, which they are trying to kill the husband or the man that created those two daughters. That correlates to Vivica A. Fox's real life. She can't get a man. She refuses to settle down, killing the black man. And then they pander to the modern 2026 woman. Look at it. The blonde braids. They are pandering to you subconsciously to tell you to kill the black man. We don't need black men. Fuck black man. Look at the caption. "Make your daddy dead, real dead." And I will say it again. You will never see white movies like this. And then they got the title, "Is God Is Goddesses." Oh my God, this is some mind control shit, boy. Do not spend your money. In real talk, do not spend one single.
All right, all praises to Yahweh. Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles and elder bishops of the great millstone who taught us this truth. I'm the servant Milchamah-ba, Yasha Allah, after the missiles. Okay, and this video here, I seen this, actually I saved it in one of my files, one of the news files, right, to, do a reply on it, using the scriptures. All right, so, yeah, this guy, he said a lot in this, and then, it's real, it's good. Okay, he hit it spot on. A lot of people are starting to, realize this world is totally off. Is an opposing threat to the so-called black man. Okay, because we know this system is ran by our birth, so-called birthright brother, or supposedly had the birthright, but he sold it. Genesis 25 goes in. I believe it's in Genesis 25 goes into how Esau was in the field. He came home and he said he was at the point of dying, while Jacob was making a type of stew at home, and the stew wasn't finished. So Esau, expressed to Jacob that he wanted this soup as it is, and it was raw, and Jacob asked him to sell him his birthright, and he did. Okay, so this is how the Lord Yahweh Shemi Shai set it up for the birthright to be, in the hands of Jacob, which, it was already, like the scriptures say, it was already set up like that from the foundation, as that that Esau was going to be a servant to Jacob, and so it wasn't, it was made as a story. Okay, so you got Esau that's trying to destroy the Lord's his blessing, his let's see what the word I'm looking for. He's trying to destroy the upset prophecy, should I say? There's no other way to put it, but this is the society that we stay in. But a lot of people don't understand it. They don't believe or can't see that this is how the Lord set it up. The Lord set it up for us to have this land. That's why the scripture go into says how long, that we would be in the position of servitude. Okay, so, but this is Esau's time of rulership, Esau's rulership, and the Lord had it to where he had to made Esau a bet, which a bet that he could not fulfill. He bet Esau that if he destroyed, or if he don't see the moon Okay, the stars, the host of heaven, as you know, or it, the sun shining and or whatever you have, that these Israel will cease, from having the blessing. I think that's Jeremiah. I think it's Jeremiah. Let's see if we can find it. Let's use the blue letter. I think it's Jeremiah 31, I believe. So we'll use the blue letter to find it. Let's go to Jeremiah 31 and Israel mourning turned to joy. Okay, that's the head caption. I think is it 31, something to that extent. Let's see, or 35, something like that. Let's see. Okay, let's start at 33. Jeremiah 31 and 33, it says, But this shall be the covenant that I will make with the house of Israel. After those days, said the Lord Yahweh, I will put my law in their inward parts and write it in their hearts, and will be their power, and they shall be my people. And they shall teach no more every man his neighbor and every man his brethren, saying, Know the Lord Yahweh, for they shall all know me, from the least of them until the greatest of them, said the Lord Yahweh, for I will forgive their iniquity and remember their sins no more. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, will give it the sun for a light by day, and the ordinance of the moon and the stars for a light by night, which divided the sea, when the waves thereof roar, the Lord Yahweh of hosts is his name. And if these ordinances depart from me, said the Lord Yahweh, this is the bet. Okay, it says, then the seed of Israel the seed of Israel also shall cease from being a nation before me. Okay, so, this is what Esau is doing. Esau is using all means of, bringing out all the tricks that he possibly can to destroy, the Israelites, which is of the man. Okay, which is of the man that carries the seed that, what's the word, to have the nation to continue to thrive and be built. It's through the seed of the man. Okay, I'm trying to figure. Is that the scripture seed? I think that's the scripture I'm looking for. I can't even remember where it was, but there's a few in here. Okay. That's Genesis 21 and 12. It says, and the Most High said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight because of the lad and because of thy bondwoman. And it says, in all that Sarah had said unto thee, hearken unto her voice, for Isaac shall thy seed be called. Okay, which this is the case of the bondwoman and the free woman. So the seed is what, forwards the nation. Okay, I think there's one more I'm looking for. I thought it was Timothy, or maybe not. I can't remember exactly. Okay, here we go. This is a good one. Galatians 3 and 16. It says, now in Abraham and his seed were the promise made. He said not, and the seeds as of many, but as of one, and to thy seed, which is a Mashiach. Okay, and this say, in this I say that the covenant that was confirmed before of the Most High and the Mashiach, the law, which was 430 years after, cannot disannul, that it should make the promise of non-effect. So, it's more than one seed, but the seed was of the free woman is where the promise was made. Okay, so you're gonna have in this situation here, it was Abraham's seed, but the promise was given to from to starting with the lineage of Isaac. Okay, it was Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Okay, so the promise was given to Isaac, to Jacob. Okay, Isaac's seed, which is Jacob. Okay, so with this film here, it has like the guy said, Vivica Fox. I don't know if she's the actual executive producer or I think she's a character definitely in the movie. But I seen a couple reels online of this movie. So I might eventually check it out, but we'll see. So this is the fight with, that Esau, which is the snake in the garden, playing the part of the snake, the serpent, should I say, and using a woman to try to destroy the seed of Jacob, where the promise is given to. And we're fastly approaching, the end of this society, which is ran by the wicked, which is Esau, Edom, the so-called white man, right? So we're just gonna get a couple scripture, okay? Let's get this first one here, okay? Exodus 20:12, it says, "Honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee." So it always says the father first, man, and everything. But this society here props up the woman as the leader of the household. And you see what Esau put the woman in charge of the household. So that's why the society of our people is effed up like it is now. Because you got young men out here they're the gremlins, man. They got the same type of the vibe as their mother, very emotional. They kill anything, right? Deuteronomy 5:16, it says, "Honor thy father and thy mother," okay, "as the Lord Yahweh thy power had commanded thee, that thy days may be prolonged, and that it may go well with thee in the land which the Lord Yahweh thy power giveth thee." So you see it, it's always through here, man. That's another one that I wanted. I think it's in the Apocrypha. Okay. But, it goes all through the scriptures. Okay. So this is another one I'm going to get in the, I believe it's, here we go, Ecclesiasticus. Okay. Chapter 3 and verse 8 says, "Honor thy father and thy mother both, in the word and deed, that a blessing may come upon thee from them." Okay. Let's see. Yeah. It says Ecclesiasticus chapter 3 and 10. It says, "Glory not in the dishonor of thy father, for thy father dishonor is no glory unto thee." So you don't want to dishonor your father, man. And Esau knows these different movies, and he puts celebrities up to have somebody to look after. That's why the father has been taken out of the house, and it's such a large number. Okay, So you could have just search for someone to look up to. And then, a lot of times when you have the father in the household, you have children that's gonna, follow their own mindset, you know. The scripture go into how you're supposed to train up a child from his youth. Okay. You train the child up from his youth so, he'll make you proud, basically, in a sense, right? But, it's just the end times spirits that the Lord has, it ain't like it used to be 20 some years ago. Or I'd say about 40 or 50 years ago, what should I say? So let's get this last one here. Ecclesiasticus chapter 7, verse 27. This is, honor thy father with thy whole heart, and forget not thy sorrow of thy mother. So you honor your father with your whole heart, man, your whole mind. Okay? And, because when you do that, the Lord has favor on you, man. Okay? Anything your father has done, or, if it ain't in the household, you have to forgive that situation, man. You just never know what your father was going through. And I'm pretty sure it was rough because, the curses are still on us, If you in your 20s, mid-20s, early 20s, your father went through some things, man. It wasn't as bad as, our grandfather, but it still happened. As far as, different consequences or situations, should I say. But, you hear it now, okay? So you ask your father, you forgive them, okay? Treat them, regardless on if you got a whooping by your father or whatever, a lot of times it's all done for correction, that's how your father loved you. The scripture go into how the Lord chasten who he loves, man. So as the father that's here, man, on earth. Okay. So I just really want to, tap into this particular movie that's coming. I guess they have it May 15th, which is yesterday. So only in theaters. So hey, the spirit of God is off, man. That's not in the scriptures. No such thing. If it is, it's going off. It ain't of Yahweh Shemel. There's only one God, man. And the gods that the Lord, well, I ain't gonna say it's one God over gods. See, the God of, the Lord of the Lord, but the Lord did tell us, say, we are gods, but we shall die like men. Okay, so, and it wasn't talking about a woman. It was talking about men. As a matter of fact, let's grab them before we end it. I think it said, you are gods. Okay, it hits 15 times. Let's see. I think the one I'm looking for is in the book of Psalms, I believe it is. Okay. Yeah, so here it is, Psalms 82:6. It says, I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High. Okay. Yeah, so that's pretty much. And this is one here in John 10:34. It says, Yahweh Shah answered them, is it not written in your law? I said, ye are gods. Okay. So anytime the Lord spoke on different things that was going into the law, he referred back to the old so-called Old Testament. Okay. Matter of fact, let's start right here. Psalm 82:5, it says, they know not, neither will they understand. They walk on in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. Yeah. And this is spot on right here. The foundation of the earth is out of course because they prop up the woman to be the leader. And a woman can't lead. The Lord has a order where he sets up woman. He sets up the man first, or sets up himself, his son, the man, then the woman. Okay, I think that's in First Timothy. Okay, I think I'm not sure, but yeah, well, it might be First Corinthians, might be First Timothy too. I'm thinking, you know, now that I said that, I'm gonna have to look for it. So I believe it may be. Let me see. Let me see. Okay. Yeah, and now that I'm in First Timothy, I see where it says for Adam was first formed, then Eve. So now if you got the woman, and this is all a spiritual battle, man. You know, with the woman versus the man thing. You know, and we know, man, a woman has no chance of destroying the man. You know, if she believe that, she's deceiving herself, man. You know, so I'm gonna go ahead and I need to find that first though before I end it. But let's finish this off, man. Psalms 82:5, it says they know not, neither will they understand. They walk in darkness. All the foundations of the earth are out of course. I have said ye are gods, and all of you are children of the Most High, but ye shall die like men. So, okay, so it's showing you that the gods are the men, not no goddesses, man. Some bullshit. Okay, it says, and fall like one of the princes. Okay, these are the fallen gods, right? It says, arise, O God, judge the earth, for thou shalt inherit all nations. Okay, that's a promise for us, the Israelites, to inherit all nations, man. Okay, let's see. Let's see if we can type it up like the woman. I think this is how I think it is. It might be. I thought it may have been. I thought it was First Timothy. I don't think it is, but damn, it's somewhere. Let's do it like this. Say the family order. Bible. Okay. It says in the Bible, this AI overview says in the Bible, the family order outlines both a relationship prioritized and a functional structure established the Most High as the head of the home. Okay. This is the regional priority of the Most High: first spouse, second, first God, spouse, second, children, third. See, okay, it says that the function, heritage, is the Mashiach, husband, wife, and children. Did I pronounce this right? A lot of stuff, forgive me. The
Hierarchy.
That's what the hierarchy. Okay, and you see what the definition of the hierarchy is. This is a system that organizes a rank and titles such as people, objects, and concepts based on their level of authority, importance, or value. So it's a hierarchy, man. Okay, it has nothing to do with. Let's see. Let's get the scriptures for it. And the one I'm looking for, I think it's First Corinthians, now that I think of it. But let's see. This is, yeah, here it is, First Corinthians. Damn. 1 Corinthians 11:3, it says, but I will have you know that the head of every man is a Mashiach, and the head of the woman is the man, and the head of a Mashiach is the Most High. So these different things that they putting up like that is out of order, man. So it is a hierarchy, like of how the family is supposed to be ran. Okay, so we're gonna end it there because you got Esau allowing a woman to be in being rebellious, and that rebellion of a woman is witchcraft, man. Okay, so regardless if Vivica Fox, she's just been used as a tool, just like they're gonna use a lot of more other celebrities to do certain things. So we're gonna end it there and give all praise and honor to Yahweh Shem. Shout out to the next time. Shalom.